Millennials, investing, and silver and gold. Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching Yankee Stacking. So today I want to talk about millennials as it pertains to investing and precious metals, silver and gold. I also want to talk about what I think is the real danger that awaits them. I'm basing this video on my friend Lior Gant's recent newsletter. I've had the privilege of interviewing Lior twice, and I eagerly await his regular emails. I largely agree with Lior's usual take on the economy and with precious metal markets. I mean, he's a lot more skilled in those areas than I am. However, I do think my millennial millionaire makes minor mistakes with markets and metals sometimes. Nothing major, but just sometimes I think he's a bit overly optimistic. Anyway, Lior talks about the financial stability report that the Federal Reserve just released. They do it twice a year. So the stunning report identified the massive influx of millennial investors as the big reason markets are hitting all-time highs. And then Lior breaks it down for us. However, I'd like to take a shot as to why I think millennials are investing hard in the markets with their money, and why their interest in silver and gold is quite low. I think it boils down to two big things. First, the millennials receiving an economic 1-2 punch in just 13 years. And also a societal shift towards gambling in general. So both the global financial crisis back in 2009 and the recent pandemic really hit millennials hard, unlike any other generational group. We're talking stagnant salaries and wages, millennials getting crushed under job loss, college debt. It put them way behind, say, where my Gen X generation was at that stage of life. I literally paid off my college loan to the government in under a year, interest-free, after starting my first full-time job. I could save, I could invest wisely without taking on an insane amount of risk. Not so millennials. Their investment landscape is very different than what I remember growing up. In fact, I don't think it's actually investing that we're talking about here. Let me clarify that. I believe that there are fundamentally 6 things that you can actually do with your money. Save it, spend it, give it, invest it, speculate with it, and gamble with it. And frankly, those last 3, investing, speculating, and gambling, and knowing the differences between them, are critical to future financial success. But with what millennials have gone through, it's going to take them like 30 years to amass adequate wealth like their predecessors did. So they feel desperate. And that desperation leads them away from investing and even speculating a lot of the times. And it leads them towards gambling in order to have a shot at catching up. And that gambling siren song is strong. I think this may help explain also the amazing shortages of workers we're seeing in retail stores. I know you've seen it, right? The help wanted signs, they're literally everywhere you look. Why toil at a thankless job when the promise of millionaire status by age 30 is all over social media? Why work when you can be a successful gambler and win big? And this leads me to that second point. I strongly believe that there has been a monumental societal shift with regards to gambling and the gambling industry in general, or I guess they like to be called the gaming industry. Social acceptance with gambling is at an all-time high. This chart came out after the Supreme Court struck down a federal law banning sports betting back in 2018. I'm sure by now it's probably a lot higher. Sites like FanDuel and DraftKings have exploded in popularity. This shift that we've seen in our society has encouraged people, especially millennials, to gamble with their investments, with the likes of Robinhood, Coinbase, Webull, and other zero-commission platforms. And those have, in turn, pushed traditional trading platforms to those zero commissions as well. Millennials are downloading and using these trading apps like crazy. Now, I know they're just a tool. Nothing is inherently wrong with a trading tool. But they are largely used as pocket casinos. What used to drive thoughtful investment decisions in the past, like price-earnings ratios or a strong balance sheet or outstanding debt, has given way to meme stock momentum trading. Lior says that the, quote, juicy trades available on social media are almost irresistible. I completely agree. He also says that millennials, quote, can't sit on a few $1,000s in cash. They'd rather just gamble those minuscule sums on YOLO trades and let the chips fall where they may. The temptation to make a quick buck is just too big to resist. Is this hitting home with any of you listening to me right now? I don't know, it may not, okay, because most of you watching my channel are savvy gold and silver stackers. But I'm curious. Please put a comment in below if you're picking up what I'm putting down here. The Fed's report observed that millennials buying equities use far more debt, margin, and options trading as the average investor. In fact, twice the amount as other generations. Millennials have massively changed options trading. Case in point, on October 29th, there were $894 billion of single stock options traded. That's the highest single day ever traded. For comparison, the value of all shares traded on that very day was just $470 billion, or half the amount. Short-term options, 2-week expiry dates. They simply love the action. By the way, silver and gold can be played this way as well in the paper markets, but they don't have the limelight yet. But the point is that these leverage gambles by largely millennials put them at insane risk. Guys, I see a third strike coming for millennials. And I think Lior sees that potential too, but sometimes I think he downplays it a bit. He says, quote, unless something truly crazy happens, they are sticking around and will continue to increase volatility with their options and with the speed at which they flock from one place to the other. Unless something truly crazy happens? Lior, something truly crazy is going to happen. And when it does, playing in the casino is not going to be so much fun anymore. And by then, their ability to invest in tangible assets, commodities, might be forever lost. And preserving whatever wealth remains with precious metals, gold and silver, could be simply a dream. Well, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. That really helps the algorithm and it helps get the word out. And I hope your day is A-OK.